It looks like we should be getting underway right about now.
There we go, yeah.
And we're just finding one of those maps in Link's house, map to Desert.
Let's see. And we immediately get the map check, and it's a red crystal. The red crystals are crystal 5 and 6, I believe, and when you collect those, you will be able to buy the big bomb and check 2 chests at the pyramid.
Yep, and those can be 2 very important chests because, again, anything can be anywhere. And so our runners need to maybe do pyramid to find hammer. That's happened. Right now, what's happening? We have Final Form and Elma going through, visiting the uncle, possibly going to do the rescue sequence afterwards. DT seems to be close behind. Fantallis checking the race game, and probably going to do a sweep from the south to north of Kakariko.
Yeah, he only has 1 bomb. That can be a problem. He's probably gonna use it on the hut where he can pick up 4 more, because he doesn't have any money to buy any bombs.
That is true. We haven't seen any of our runners here go to the Chris Houlihan room, which is another option for that early game movement. If you really feel like you need money, that's a guaranteed way, but it does cost you a couple minutes.
But
And
there's a lot of
Fantallis just
money.
robs the tavern instead, so that works too.
Usually it's a little bit harder to find money in Keysanity because a lot of the items are now keys that would normally be stuff like money or rupees.
Well, Final Form lucks out, gets a nice amount of bombs, so they are going to be set on that front for a while. Getting bombs and money early on is essential. And getting those Turtle Rock small keys can be essential, so we find one in the mushroom spot.
Yeah, you're gonna need 3 of those at least to clear Turtle Rock. 4 if you want to get every chest.
And we see that there's a small key on the Lumberjack Ledge. That might be bad news. That Lumberjack Ledge, is blocked by Aga 1. So if that's an essential small key, our runners are going to have to fight Aghanim.
And fighting Aghanim takes a long time. You have to climb all the way up his tower. Takes minutes to do. So it's a risk to do it too early. I'm thinking we won't see that until they feel that they are forced to do it.
Yep, with how our runners tend to route a lot of dungeons and the little bomb jumps and other tricks to avoid spots, a lot of small keys end up not actually being necessary, but then a lot of them still are, and that can be dangerous. Fantallis finds the lone arrow. Elma grabs a shield in Blind's house. And our first sword is in well.
Yeah, I always enjoy getting a sword early. Swordless strats can be a little bit hard. I don't think these runners will have any problems without the sword, but it's always nice.
Fantallis grabbed the hammer as well. That's pretty useful.
Oh, indeed.
It's a little bit of an understatement here. Hammer being one of the items you generally require in order to get through the Dark World. Not always. You can route around it, but you pretty much always need it.
Yeah, the 2 other options are to find 2 lift upgrades or do Aghanim.
Yep, so our runners will be looking for just the 1 glove, if they're so lucky.
They also need the Moon Pearl to be able to do anything useful in the Dark World. Otherwise, they will be in bunny form.
Now, nothing wrong with bunny form, except you can't really do anything.
It has the best music.
Yeah, really good sync up in our 3-0 run. They are following very similar routes and getting the same results. But we do have fantallis going down to the south shore. Probably going to check well first. Or, not well. The dam. We already checked the well. The well was good.
I think this is the most popular place to go after you check out Kakariko. Some people go to Eastern instead, and when you find a sword, sometimes people go and do the escape sequence.
Yep, and Elma looks like they'll be doing the Eastern material, visiting Sahasrahla as well, getting a little bit of intel on the green pendant.
Sahasrahla has 3 chests that are easily accessible in the back of his hut.
Yes, however, the mini moldarms are guarding 5 item locations, so that's a little bit of a better play.
And
But when the
there's
moon pearl and the
and
flippers and a pod key, Sahasrahla, what are you doing?
definitely a hype hut today. Let's see if Mini Moldorm Cave pays out. Just some arrows, a heart container, a piece of hearts. There's a mail upgrade and some money. Not quite as hype as Sahasrahla's hut, but the mail upgrade is nice when I have so few hearts.
Yep, both of them useful, but I think Sahasrahla a little more so.
Yeah, Sahasrahla had progression with the flippers and the moon pearl, so.
Now that said, fantallis is in a position where they can ignore not having flippers for the moment, because you can fake flipper. You can trick the game into thinking you have them. However, without the moon pearl, it's not going to get you a ton right now. But it is the ability to sequence break and get a little ahead of things.
They already have a lot of rupees, so they can definitely afford going to Sora. Sorry. Ooh, there's the hook shot in Eastern.
Ooh, Eastern looking like the real strong play.
Yeah. Fantallis looks like they are going to do the escape before going to Eastern. There might be something there as well.
Just a minor small key in Eastern. You only really need 1 to get through easily, and even then you can squeeze your way without.
Yeah, there are a few dungeons that don't require any small keys at all before you can finish them. Eastern is one of them, but you have to have the big key for Eastern and the bow.
Yep, only Skull Woods and Swamp Palace can you clear without the big key.
Normally for Eastern you would also need a lamp, but these runners, as you can see on eLmaGus' screen, they don't have any problems doing dark rooms.
Yep, the Eastern Dark Room, probably the easiest of those that runners can do. So it's a good idea to just power through it. And if you're learning the game, that's a good one to try learning first.
Yeah, it's not too difficult.
And there's the Skullwoods big key down in the rescue sequence. Yes, that is true, chat. The Ice Palace big key, you can get to Cold Stair without it if you do the bomb jump. The game logic doesn't really expect you to do any bomb jumps, so it will provide you that large key before you're expected to fight the boss.
When silver's in escape.
Silvas. Lovely. That will make the Ganon fight much easier.
And also a lot of other boss fights are so much easier with the silvers. But they cannot use them until they find the bow.
Fantallis making quick work of that mace wielder. Just getting some rupees for the effort. Moon Pearl was in Sahasrarla's hut, so we are going to hope for our runners to make that trip over towards Eastern sooner rather than later. And the book on the desert ledge.
That's a funny one. So that means they will need the flute and the mirror to get it.
Well, Magus just found the flute, so there you go.
Maybe Sora has the mirror? They will also need the lift upgrades, both of them.
No, but his ledge does have the next sword. It looks like DT is going to make that Eastern play. Fantallis already there, about to be rather pleased.
Oh yeah.
Just a fiver from Zora.
Life lessons.
Yet another life lesson.
Yeah. eLmaGus decides to pick up that sword upgrade. I agree with that. Maybe the rest of the swords are in Ganon's tower, and that's actually... You never know how long it takes to get another.
I have seen that many a time. You have to go through the whole game with Master Sword, and good luck.
Yeah, I've played a seed where I only got Fighter Sword before Ganon's tower.
Ooh, that is brutal. Most bosses have alternate ways of defeating them than just a sword. But if you're rolling Fighter Sword, man. Anyway, Magus being the first to grab the flute will let the duck loose. Yep. The top race is 3-0. The bottom race is 2-1. So a lot more pressure on the bottom race. If you have 2 losses, you're basically out of the finals. Having 1 loss makes it pretty tricky as well, but 2 losses, you're pretty much out.
Yeah, there will be a tiebreaker with everyone who is 4-1. They will be playing one race where I believe it's one person gets to move on until the bracket stage.
Yep, it's a pretty complicated bracket setup for this tournament, but when you have 200 plus runners, that kind of happens. So DT and Fantallis getting their life lessons, but going to get their swords as well.
So what places have we not seen yet? I feel like the runners are running out of places to look now.
Well, the flute will give them Death Mountain, and the hookshot will give them the east side as well.
Oh, that's true. There's Paradox Cave, which has a lot of chests. That usually has something good.
Yeah, people have been saying the Paradox Cave is more hype than Hype Cave as of late.
Yeah, I think in Keysanity, this version of it's that's true. Hype Cave is not what it used to be. We have Synchronous letting the goose loose.
Yep, harmonizing that duck tune.
Let's
I
see
don't know
he
if it
decides-
is supposed to be a goose or a duck or whatever.
Maybe it's a chicken? No.
It might be. I think any manner of bird is a bit ambiguous here in Hyrule. And silver arrows, for those asking, were in the rescue sequence, which DT is probably going to head to right now.
Yeah. And Fantallis is rescuing the old man in the dark. This is a sequence break, but the rest of Death Mountain will not be a sequence break because of the flute.
Also, as we're thinking through locations that our runners could go to, the first chest of Aghanim's tower is now in logic, with the Master Sword. The second chest is not because it's in a dark room, but that one first chest can have important things, like the lamp.
They also need a small key for Aghanim's tower to get the second chest.
And
Stack
there's
the
some
rock.
bits.
Oh yeah. That means Dark World access.
Yep, Fantallis is going to be the first with that reach. And this is probably all they're going to do here because they don't have the hookshot yet. They didn't dip Eastern.
Oh yeah. But they will that might actually be okay. That means if they go to Dark World and find the second lift upgrade, they can check Dark Side Death Mountain as well when they come back. If that happens. If not, there could always be the second lift upgrade on the Death Mountain. Who knows?
Who knows indeed. That is the joy of Randomizer. DT doing a little bit of a death warp.
When you don't have the mirror, that's usually the fastest way.
And Fantallis going to go visit what is called Hype Cave. It is called that in the spoiler logs and among the community. But as we were saying earlier, it's gotten less exciting over time. Personally, I like to call it Dagobah because it looks like Yoda, but to each their own.
Oh, and there it is, the second lift upgrade.
And a GT small key and bombos.
Yeah. This was actually a hype cave today.
Yes. I apologize for speaking ill of it.
Yeah. Well, maybe you made it angry and it wanted to show you. I am hype cave.
I mean, commentator's curse is a thing, I guess. Final form gonna check the escape basement. That was also put in logic with the gloves. Stumpy carrying ether.
Yeah, we have 2 of the 3 medallions. We know Mr. Meyer is not required, at least not for the crystal. But,
Yeah, we know it doesn't have a crystal. That doesn't mean it's not required.
Yeah, that's true. Final 4 found the big key for for Tower of Hera in the back of Escape. So that's one more place he can go when he goes back up to Death Mountain.
Yeah, Fantallis gets a pod key in the digging game. Lots of little bits of probably useful items. In theory, you only need one small key for pod to complete it, but our runners, knowing the game logic, they're probably not going to take that dangerous of a play.
Usually runners look for 4 pod keys because you can skip one by doing the hammer jump, and you can skip another if you have the bow and the hammer. But that also requires you to run around a few times. So it's a little bit slower, but it usually saves time over going around looking for an extra key.
Fantallis with their second bottle. Next time they're in Kakariko, should really visit the sick kid. Give him a little medicine, see what you get in return. And we're gonna get our first look at Thieves Town.
Yeah, Fantallis cannot finish this dungeon because they don't have the big key, but they can check out 4 chests that are pretty easily accessible at the beginning of this dungeon.
And Magus, once they finish up with Spec Rock, we'll probably get our first look at the east side of Death Mountain.
I'm a little surprised we're not seeing any of them go to Skull Woods. That's a very common play. As soon as you get the mitts, you go there first.
Yeah, but Skullwoods is rather dangerous, especially only on 4 hearts.
Oh, that's true. They have blue mail, but still, 4 hearts is not
Yeah,
a lot
those-
of health.
Those Gyptos are mean, and they're not the only ones that'll take you down, as Fantallis takes a fall. Probably intentional. Good little death warp, but didn't take long for it to happen.
Takes a lot longer to walk out of that dungeon. So couldn't get the pyramid check from DT.
Just a 20. Lots of those big 20s rolling around town.
Fantallis is heading into Skull Woods with his 4 hearts.
5 hearts now.
Yeah.
Those little bits of love add up.
Doing the bomb jump. Looks good.
Bomb jump indeed.
To get more bombs.
For those asking, the silvers were in the rescue sequence, the escape. More goo for Fantallis, and a lamp for Magus.
DT checked Catfish and only found a bomb upgrade. There's another key for Turtle Rock in Paradox Cave. There's the fire rod. And Ice Palace and Turtle Rock big keys.
And see, this is why people are starting to call Paradox the hype cave, but both of them were wonderful this time.
Oh yeah. The room that Fantallis is in now can be very difficult. Those Gibdos give you so much trouble. If you don't have something to stun them with, they will be annoying. And
Yep, or
using
something
the
like the fire rod to take care of him in one shot.
Oh yeah, that's a very nice weapon in Skullwoods. Fantallis used the Wallmaster to quickly get out of the dungeon. That's a very smart move.
Another pod key up in Tower of Hera.
Yeah, eLmaGus has the big key, so he can finish it. He cannot get the basement chest, but everything else we get.
I don't know if we saw whether this is a crystal or pendant yet, so... Oh no, we do have crystal marked for our top runners. So it looks like someone did do a map check. And the desert small key up in Hera as well.
Fantallis is in the Meyer shed. I don't think he checked what the medallion requirement, the required medallion is, but he has all the medallions, so.
And there is the small key for Swamp over in the Meyer Shed. That is the only small key you need for that dungeon.
It's a very important one. You don't get very far without it.
Nope, you get a total of one, possibly very trolly chest. And we're gonna see an Ice Palace dip.
eLmaGus did a very nice troll dome fight.
For again his tower small key.
And a crystal.
Yes, Fantallis, lacking the fire rod, but does have Bombos, has all the medallions in fact. So they can get through the dungeon just fine with that.
Colster with this few hearts, only the Master Sword can be pretty difficult. If you cannot stunlock Colster into the corner, you can have a hard time.
Very true.
Can Mirror be on pedestal? No, because Mr. Meyer is a pendant. And you cannot finish Mr. Meyer without the mirror.
No, you can... I believe you can finish Meyer without. It's only Swamp that you can't get to without Mirror.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I for some reason I mixed it up with the flute, but so we don't know if Swamp is a pendant yet. So there's one pendant we don't know.
Yep, if Swamp is a crystal, then yes, Mirror could be on pedestal.
But yeah, no, that's true. And it also means if Mirror is on pedestal, then Mirror is required.
Yep. It would actually, I think, be doubly required because of desert.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So this has potential to be an extremely trolly seed.
Let's hope so. Don't know if we've seen the hammersmith yet, blacksmith.
We haven't seen this bit as far as I can recall. Final Form is going to have to save quit to make it happen without the mirror.
Yeah, you can do the hammer pegs, and that's it. Only bombs. Fantallis has one more chest in the IST room. And then they will be heading to Colster.
And it's another pod key. That is 4 that we have seen. Not spread out across all of our runners yet, but that's as many as you need to get through.
They require one more or finding the bow to get through.
Ah, yes, because of the front door.
Yeah, exactly. And actually 2 of the chests inside the pod are locked behind the bow anyway.
Well, we're about to see Final Form go as far as they can. Yeah, Fantallis had to bail out. No hook shot and not making that bomb jump happen. No, I was mistaken. Final Form is at Eastern, not Pod. They're designed to look very similar.
They are in the same place as well.
And Final Form, the second to find the hook shot, giving what might have been a little bit of Rage Slash.
eLmaGus kind of hesitated before jumping down the hole, and that's to make sure he wasn't grabbed by a Wallmaster. The Wallmaster can grab you while you are in the air falling down the hole to Mothula.
Yep, it just needs 1 pixel to grab a hold.
Oh! eLmaGus taking a death. Mothula can be very trolly. It's very difficult, especially with the hammer having such a small hitbox. It's not easy.
And Fantallis making their way over towards Pod and possibly Pyramid. Yep, Pyramid first. So all these are valid spots, but if it's not Eastern, it's not quite what they need.
eLmaGus is giving Mothula one more try.
Yep. The blacksmiths didn't help out DT very much. We'll see if the lunchbox is any better. Yes, Magus making use of that green potion that he found. Did not find the red one though. Didn't need it. Takes down the moth.
For a
It's a compass.
Yeah.
But a
Not
crystal.
what he was looking for.
crystal.
Yeah, the crystal is definitely required, so he had to do it anyway.
DT now making the Eastern dip. Yes, all four runners are running the exact same seed. They are not all running against each other. This is a match of DT and Final Form, and Fantallis versus Magus. So if Fantallis and Magus both finish first, let's say, the top race is still anyone's game. And of course, no mirror, no book means no pedestal check after Skullwoods.
Yeah, if mirror is on pedestal, they will have to pull it blind. Because they will not get the book before they have the mirror.
Yeah, those blind pulls, they can be fascinating to watch and aggravating to have to do. And DT finds the hook shot.
Fantallis? Is he heading to pod? Yeah.
Looks like that'll be our first proper pod play.
They have to leave behind either vanilla big key chest or the chest inside harmless hellway. And then also the two chests on the right side. Because they don't have the bow yet.
Yep, afraid so. The question of big key chest or hellway is... It's a coin flip at that point.
Yeah, I like going through the hellway only because I like doing the bomb jump from the bottom. Coming in from the door there.
Actually, Fantallis does not even have enough keys to do all of that, I believe. Oh, no. No, my mistake.
There's the castle tower, small key. The second chest in Aghanim 1 is now in the logic.
Yep, although Fantallis will have to go to Eastern to get the hook shot, to go to Paradox to get the lamp, before that happens.
Unless
That-
they want to do it in the dark.
Unless. Which is not unheard of. It looks like Final Form is going to make Trolldorm their first boss fight. As DT finds their lamp.
Final Form is using the hammer on Trolldorm. That's one of the fights where I think the hammer is really nice. It's not that hard hitting his tail compared to some of the other bosses where it seems like the hitbox is just impossible.
Like, say, Mothula.
Oh yeah, Mothula is very tough. Nice bomb jump by DT.
And the Meyer Big Key is in the horseshoe. Didn't see what the other one was. Probably just rubies or whatever. And we will see Fantallis demonstrate the hammer jump. Possibly the trickiest bomb jump to do in the game, but pulling it off gets you 3 chests for free. If Fantallis pulls it, first try.
Nice. You have to navigate the maze in the dark to get the 2 other chests.
Finds the other castle tower small key. That's AGA access.
And there is a small key in the lumberjack cave.
And there's a mirror in
Ooh.
pod. One
No
dream
mirror.
dead, but the other one is getting up there a little more.
There's a few possibilities still. There could be like ice rods. There could be. What else can be there? The
GT
bow?
Big Key?
GT Big Key. Yeah. No, the bow cannot be very big. Or can it? Bow isn't required to finish Helmasaur, is it? Yes, it is. Never mind.
Yes, I think for logic it is.
Yeah,
and
also
there's the Mimic Room.
Yeah, the mimics.
Yes, Fantallis passed up a good opportunity to go do Eastern. Getting that mirror and being at pod is like, you're right there,
Yeah.
but
It's so
avoiding
easy
it.
to forget when you just get the item. It's so easy to forget that you can use it immediately, because often you have made a plan. Okay, after this I'm gonna go there, and then you do that instead of using the mirror.
Well, fortunately or unfortunately, the big key to Eastern was in Hookshot Cave, but it was in the Bonkshot chest. So if
Oh.
Fantallis finds boots before going to Eastern, it's gonna be a heck of a runaround. And as we have all our runners kind of overlapping each other, I will take a quick moment to give a shout out to Azazaz and Raspberry Floof, who are handling the tracking for this run.
And if you like what you see, don't forget to give our runners a follow.
So we're gonna have Fantallis take you up Moldorm. DT looks like they're going to head over to the east side of Death Mountain. Not sure where Magus is going after this sick kid visit. Actually, DT might be cracking open T-Rock. This would be a valid time to do it. At least get it open for when you do get the cane.
Yeah. They cannot go inside, but opening it is not a bad idea anyway.
Oh, and yes, it looks like we had swords in Super Bunny and Pod, I believe. I think one of the swords was a dark pod chest and we didn't notice for a while.
It must be the one in the basement, then. In the back.
Yep. That's one trick with dark rooms. When there are chests in there, you can't always see what the item is.
At least with the keys.
Might end up having something useful.
Yeah, with the keys you get a text box telling you what you got. So.
Unless it's vanilla, but at least then it shows up on your item count.
Yeah. And Final Form is heading back, grabbing that last chest. I actually played against Final Form in the last round, and I lost because I forgot that chest. And it had the red cane, I believe.
Every one of those one-off locations, they can beat you up.
So where is... Oh, I think Final Form is heading into pod now.
Yep, this would be probably a good time for it. They have 3 keys, the big key. They got lamp. Just about everything you need but bow.
Yeah.
Fantallis about to head to Paradox and realize the little situation they've been in.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not hookshot, but it is everything that was hookshot locked that they now routed around by sequence breaking. And of course, one challenge when you are doing the sequence breaks, you have to remember that they're outside of logic. And so, if Fantallis is forgetting that, they may assume this is how you had to do it. And might be one step further from bothering to check Eastern.
Yeah, and if you're looking for 1 or 2 required items, you might start looking in places that are impossible for those items to be, because you forgot that you were sequence breaking. And you're not supposed to have access to some areas.
Yep, Magus though has access to the last chunk of ice. So we'll be seeing a couple more chests real quick.
I also think eLmaGus will be finishing Cold Stare.
Oh, there's another pod key in Ice Palace.
I think that means we've seen all of them.
We are still missing one, I believe.
Okay, yeah. And thank you to Remiel Gaming for subscribing and supporting speed gaming. Wow, that was a really quick Matula fight by DT.
Yep, very clean execution. Now we have 2 of our runners on the butter. Magus still on Master Sword, according to the tracker, and I believe I saw that is the case.
Final Form was preparing to Death Warp. He was taking damage intentionally, and then he gets the mirror. And then it was... at least he didn't take damage until he had half a heart, but... it's still kind of funny.
Yeah, if he was at a half a heart, honestly, I would have Death Warped at that point out of principle.
Yeah, and to refill your health a little bit at least. Magus doing Cold Stare with Master Sword. He had some magic to use the Fire Rod in the beginning, but when that magic is gone, all you have is that Master Sword, and it takes a lot of slashes. There we go. Well done.
Yeah, looks like the floating island, it had a small key, wasn't
Oh,
useful.
and Ice Palace is the last dependent.
Oh, indeed it is. And they can access Pod. And you need all 3 pendants to pull Pedestal.
Yeah, now
And
we
people
just
like,
need the...
and people like watching a Pedestal pull. Looks like Fantallis is going to go up towards Aga. With both keys, we might see a fight. Or, no, gonna do the swamp, the sewer chest first. My mistake. Might go fight Aga, or at least go climb the tower. There's a lot to do here, is the point.
Well, what small keys can be required still? I think Turtle Rock. You
Yep,
only
and
have 2 keys for Turtle Rock. I think that's might be it, because we've seen 5 keys for Pod.
True.
They did spend 1 key on the middle door at the beginning, which means they need all 5. But
Yeah, I think it being a Turtle Rock small key is the last hope for an Aga fight. It might be a pod key, and the game logic would therefore require you, or at least expect you, to fight Aga. The game logic expects you'll have all the small keys before you finish a dungeon.
Final Form is doing desert. Only found some rupees there.
Yeah, did pick up the book, but we already knew that was hanging around there.
Oh! Big
Thieves
key to
Town!
Thieves Town!
So that's a pretty important tower dip.
Yeah. That is required. And it looks like they are heading directly to Thieves Town. Not a bad idea.
Also, a belated thank you to Hoodies Girl for subscribing to Speed Gaming and helping to support these tournaments and these events.
eLmaGus
Yes.
is going into Spike Cave. I think this is the first time we see Spike Cave.
Yep. And this is another one of those sequence breaks. The logic will expect you to have some form of invulnerability to get those 20 rupees.
Yeah, either the blue cane or the cape.
So we're about to see desert
Oh,
cleared out.
nice, one cycle.
A vanilla heart container.
Yeah.
Is this even randomized?
Well, he do get the crystal though. That's
Oh, that is true.
so. Where do you think Final Form will head next? After Agina's cave.
That is a good question. The book plus the mirror gives you the tablets and, of course, a pedestal check. So they might try to grab those.
Well, they already did Skullwoods, and there's never any like really good opportunity to do pedestal check except when you do Skullwoods. So
That is
I think-
true.
I expect we have to wait a little bit before we see what's on the pedestal.
And honestly, I don't know that we saw a medallion check for Meyer, but Final Form has all three and the hook shot to get in.
Yeah.
You hate to dip it when you can't clear it, but you might have to.
Well, they have to find the red cane first.
Oh, absolutely. If you're going to clear it, you need that. But there's, I believe, 7 item locations before there? 6 or 7, I can't always remember.
You have to hover quite a bit before if you don't get the red cane, because in the first room.
Oh, that's Turtle Rock. They're not going to dip Turtle Rock for a while.
Oh, I thought, yeah, I got mixed up.
Yeah, we're not going to see Turtle Rock for a good long time, which is typical in Keysanity. It's a pretty hefty one to have to double dip, so runners will avoid doing that whenever possible.
Yeah, and it's always nice to be able to do Turtle Rock last and then go directly to Ganon's tower, because you don't have to climb the Death Mountain once more.
Ooh, DT getting taken down by Cold Stare.
Final Form is gonna check out Cave 45, just some bombs.
Yep, this whole lunchbox route is a lot easier when you have mirror. This whole fetch quest in general becomes a lot smoother.
And probably he'll check Bumbo's tablet after this.
And there's a swamp big key in desert, and a small key to Skullwoods was in lunchbox. And yes, Ice Rod is on lamp, so it's time to hunt down the boots.
Which could be on the pedestal.
Yep. Could have some master speed happening.
I believe it's the last item that would be required then, that can be on the pedestal, or something leading to the boots.
Yep. Either the boots, a fetch quest item,
Or a big
or a big key to GT.
Yeah.
Looks like Final Form is going to give us a swamp dip. Yes, we know the cane cannot be on the pedestal because of the Meyer pendant. The bow cannot because of the pod pendant. And the ice rod can't because we've seen it. It's a very small set of items that would make pedestal required, but the dream is alive. Well, dream. Let's put air quotes on it for the sake of our runners.
It's a dream for us commentators. We get to commentate for a longer time.
And we get to commentate someone's misery, which is always lovely.
Oh, DT gets close there this time. They have gotten a lot of money this seed, so fluting over to the witch just to pick up a couple of blue pots wouldn't take that long, and it's a very good safety.
Yep. Our runners also have the bug net, at least those that have gone into Ice Palace. So you can nab some fairies if you're willing to take the time to track them down.
Yeah. Of course, both those options take a little bit of time, and they know they are running against very good opponents, all of them. So they might not want to do that. They might want to risk it and save that time. Oh, and there's Boots in Swamp.
Boots in Swamp. So if we spot the GT Big Key, that probably kills our pedestal dream. And there it is. At the graveyard ledge. So it went from looking like a decent chance of a pedestal required seed to basically killing the dream.
Yeah.
And of course, Final Form, knowing that he doesn't have the red cane, doesn't have the boot, or the bow, rather, does have the boots. Definitely going to do the left side of Swamp. This is an area that you avoid if you're in go mode, because it does take a fair bit of time for just 2 chests.
Yeah. And he also doesn't have the big key to Ganon's tower, or Thieves' Town. Or
Oh, that is true. That is true. Nobody has gone to Castle Tower except fantallis.
yeah. So we are. Ooh, there's powder. That's a fetch quest, potentially something useful. Always a good safety item.
Yeah, that plus bug net is a good fairy factory if you want to keep one in reserve.
Yeah, it's a lot quicker finding one when you have the powder.
So yeah, good amount of divergence happening here. Got all of our runners in different dungeons.
Yeah. Don't think we've seen anything useful in Mire yet.
No, don't believe so. There's the Thieves' Town small key in Swamp. Along with the cape.
Well, Fantallis is gonna hope that there's nothing good in that big chest in Thieves' Town. He's in there without the small key, so he cannot open that chest. It's easy to forget about or ignore for a while if you go in there without it.
Yep, and it is just one location, so the odds are low of it being necessary, but if it is necessary, it's a bit of a run back.
Yeah, it's easy to check everywhere else first. One single rupee on Argus.
And there's the cane in Mire.
Vanilla dungeon.
Yeah, not vanilla location, but French vanilla.
It was close.
Close enough. Final Form gonna make their pyramid check before going up to Castle Tower. It's a good routing approach.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna see him go to Thieves Town after this, probably. eLmaGus finished Lamolas, and Fantallis is doing hammer pegs.
Yeah, slight disappointment there. And just a quick overview for those who have joined late, since we're now a good hour into the seed. These are two races in the name of DT taking on IsntEvenMyFinalForm. They are both 3-0 in our tournament. Meanwhile, we have Fantallis and eLmaGus. They are both 2-1. Making any progress in the bracket basically requires either no losses or one loss. So for all of our runners, this is pretty vital.
Yeah, if the winner of DT and Final Form will be guaranteed to at least play in the tiebreaker, but the tiebreaker is not gonna be easy because there's gonna be 30 or so players, I believe, and only one advancing. So
Yeah, that tiebreaker will be absolute madness. And I'm kind of eager to see it personally, but still have to get through another week to get to our 5th round. Which you will be able to see on this channel and the other speed gaming channels. 2, 3, 4, I think there's a 5 even? There's a fair number of speed gaming channels.
yeah, and there's the link to the past Randomizer channels as well. DT waited a long time before going into pod. I think he wanted to see if he could find the bow before going here, but now since they found 5 keys, it's not that bad to use that key to open the middle door. So
Yep.
they're probably hoping to find the bow in here, but we know it's not in there. And
We're gonna
Final
see.
Form is going to the graveyard ledge, and that's where the big key to Ganon's tower was, right?
Indeed it was, as Bombo's tablet had the last shield. So full offense and full defense.
I'm missing a mail upgrade.
Yeah, true. DT makes the hammer jump. No sweat.
Gonna get to see Bonkrox. Hard container.
Yeah, we know Final Form has gone through desert. Don't know when they'll go back for the Ice Rod. Probably after they nab Kane.
Yeah, I'm thinking they probably want to do Meyer and pick up the Ice Rod at the same time. They might be hoping they won't have to do Meyer at all. Maybe that's why they are putting it off.
Well, DT has conceded the point. They're actually maybe going to finish Meyer at this point.
Yeah, DT didn't have the big key when he went in there first time? Or... yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because he hadn't made the pod play yet. So, Meyer being the green pendant, still has a chance of being pretty vital.
Yeah, there's an extra item in it for you if you finish the green pendant, because Hashla will give you something. Might be the bow.
Might be. Fantallis, meanwhile, is about to find that Eastern will give you something. Something he kind of wish they had a while ago. So finally, all of our runners have the hook shot. Unfortunately, Fantallis, no big key, no bow. It's just gonna get as far as the big key chest.
We're gonna get
So-
to see the big chest in Thieves Town now.
Just a piece of heart.
So I'm starting to think maybe Turtle Rock will have the bow.
Ooh, that would be a thing.
So I'm hoping, since they only have 3 keys, so I'm hoping for vanilla big key chest.
Something interesting happening on Final Form screen. While a solid Vitreous fight happens on DTs.
And eLmaGus finished Argus. There was 3 synchronized boss fights there. DT remembering the Ice Rod. Or he hasn't finished Desert yet.
Oh no.
And also, we don't have the boots yet. So, no ice road for him.
Yeah, that big key might be a push to dip into swamp, which is going to be a bit necessary. Just a bit.
Definitely for the boots.
And we get to see what Ether Tablet has. A small key to Ice Palace.
Useless. Well, they haven't finished Ice Palace. Having one key is actually nice. Helps you. You can do a slightly easier route.
Yeah, when you have the big key and the small key, I believe you just don't have to worry about the bomb jump at all if you decide not to do it.
Yep.
Always got to worry about those dead rocks, though. The absolute jerks.
You're seeing the runners go to places we have seen other runners go. They have had quite different routing, all these players this time.
Yeah, a lot of divergence. The run gave them a decent number of options, and they all took different ones. Always appreciated to see.
And when Final Form picks up his red cane, he will be one item away from go mode, I believe. Well, they only have 2 Turtle Rock keys, actually.
Yeah, so one item and arguably one key. Kind of depends what's in the lava chest.
Wasn't there a Turtle Rock key in Maya? Or am I mistaken?
Actually, I think you're right. That would explain why DT has 3 of them. Wouldn't explain why Magus has 3. Because I don't think they dipped into Mire. I don't know. With so much divergence going on, it's easy to miss things.
Yeah. But it's gonna be interesting to see who goes to Turtle Rock first. Ooh, and we're gonna get the
Yeah,
pedestal
Brevin.
check.
We're going to get a pedestal check. Unfortunately, that dream is dead. It's the last T-Rock small key.
Well, that means the bow, if it's in T-Rock, it's early.
Yep. It will not be on
Actually,
Trinex. The only thing we can guarantee is that it's not on Trinex.
couldn't it be well, actually, it can also not be in the vanilla big key chest.
Well, no, the game logic might require you to visit that one. Because the game logic
Oh yeah,
expects
because
you to get all small keys, so...
yeah, because if you get pick up that, if you use one key for that, you will get access to the last key by finishing the by pulling the pedestal.
Yeah, there
Right.
are a lot of ways this can go crazy. Wait, Sahasrarla had the bow? We got a Sahasrarla check?
Did we miss it?
If we did, the trackers did as well. Wow, everyone's so preoccupied with making
Well,
the
let's
pedestal
see what
required.
DT does now, because he's... Well, did he all... Okay. Well, DT got it. Yeah. Well, they are actually not in go mode yet because of Thieves Town, big key, Ganon's Tower, big key, and Boots. Right? Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, not Boots, but Ice Rod, but you need Boots to get Ice Rod.
Man, you can come in with such low expectations of certain locations. You just be like, well, they're going to check Sahasrarla. He never has anything until he has the bow. Yes, I would say that puts DT at a bit of an advantage for that race.
Yeah. Until he found the bow, I think Final Form had a small advantage. Now I think it's the other way around.
Yeah, and with that last pod key in pod, along with Berna, so those were both bow locked. So you would have been able to check every location, even using keys to get to the dark maze, and you would have been fine.
Final Form is heading to Sahasrarla now, so he might be catching up pretty quick now.
Yeah, I think with this quick check, I would put Final Form a little more ahead. Although he has a few words to give Sahasrarla before he leaves.
Yeah. He did just menu, but I missed it. I don't know how many Turtle Rock keys, small keys. Yeah, we have. Tracker says 2. I thought there was one in Meyer, but I could be mistaken. I don't remember seeing him pick up one, but he's not in go mode until he has 3 Turtle Rock small keys. It's close, but no go mode yet.
Yeah, DT, by clearing pod, I believe he's gonna go for that ped pull and get that last T-Rock small key. Because pod is the last pendant. Hopefully he goes to Swamp first and finds the boots. Otherwise, he might take on that lava chest that's likely to be unnecessary at this point. I think we're in no mode.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty solidly in no mode.
That chest could actually have the 4th Turtle Rock key.
Could have the last mail upgrade, but our runners will be fine rolling on blue, if that's the case. DT at the front part of Eastern, while Final Form clears out the back.
Final Form now only needs Turtle Rock Crystal. But he only has 2 keys. He's heading up there. He's hoping for one more key inside Turtle Rock.
Yeah, not gonna find it though. If DT and Magus both have 3, then we know there's not one in there.
Yep. Well, we know they will not check the vanilla big key chests because they don't need anything else except the small key to Turtle Rock.
Yep.
And since it was not in Meyer, I don't remember where it was. DT is a little bit behind, but they won't have to double dip Turtle Rock. So that will allow them to... they have some time to catch up.
Yeah, a lot of ground to make up though between Swamp and Thieves Town. But by going Swamp first...
People in chat are saying Turtle Rock key was in Ice Palace. And the 4th one is on Pedestal, so...
Yeah, that must have been on like the later part of Ice Palace that we saw Fantallis skip. Because didn't have the hookshot at the time.
Yeah. Did they do Ice Tea Room?
I believe so. I don't think they did the Compass Room and the Stalfos Room before that.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Well, that's a really trolly location for Final Form. I hope he remembers.
Yeah, Ice Palace is not the worst to have to double dip. That honor usually goes to Pod or T-Rock, but it's a double dip that you don't really want to have to make.
I think T-Rock is my least favorite to double dip, mostly because of the travel time just to get there.
True. Pod's travel time is pretty obnoxious as well with that
Agreed.
that hedge maze.
Yeah, that takes some time. Bo was at the Sahasla, so they were required to finish Mystery Meyer to get the green pendant.
Yep, and with the last Turtle Rock small key on Pedestal, the game logic says that Pedestal is required. Of course, if you steal a key and skip the lava chest, then you don't need it, but going by game logic at least. And we do find the red mail in Turtle Rock, so that is all of our gear upgrades. All present and accounted for.
Yeah. The top race actually is really close now. It's really hard to say who's gonna come out on top, because who knows when Final Form will go back to Ice Palace.
Yeah. At the same time, who knows when DT will decide to climb Agnes Tower.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So
Those
that's
two
one.
decisions. Yeah, those two decisions will decide, I think.
Yeah, that's one. That's one joy of randomizer races. To be honest, is you can see like one runner having a solid crystal advantage, but if they don't have the right information and they start making the bad decisions, it's always possible to come back. Granted, there are deficits to where it's kind of a lost cause, but I wouldn't say any of our runners are quite that far behind.
So if you were Final Form, after you check Turtle Rock, you find nothing. Where do you go next?
I think I go Pod, honestly. I think he's dipped enough, but I think he's also gathered a bit more, especially with the bow.
Yeah, that's not a bad choice. Especially, it depends on. I don't remember how many chests he skipped in Ice Palace, but if it was just one, it's really hard to go back there.
Yeah, that's why I feel like I wouldn't go to Ice until the very last moment. I would probably check Pedestal even, just to see like, is this game really going to force me to finish Ice?
Well, if you check Pedestal, you're kind of in a go mode. Hope I find the other Turtle Rock small key first kind of mode. So I mean, he could quickly finish the other dungeons without searching.
Good.
But
That
it
depends on
takes-
him remembering that he hasn't checked everything in Ice Palace beyond Cold Stare.
yeah.
And yeah, Chad has a point. If he checks Pedestal, sees that that's a Turtle Rock small key, might just be like, okay, I'm just going to go mode Ice and get that pendant, and not get the small key that's already in there.
Yeah, then he skips it. Oh yeah, oh. That could be really trolly. But I mean, then he is in go mode. Like, he can just go mode the dungeons, but he has to go mode 2 more dungeons. Both Pod
Yeah.
and Ice Palace.
There is a lot of chance for Final Form to just troll themselves. There's a lot of chance for every runner to do that as they go along. And I think fantallis might end up doing exactly that. They're going into T-Rock with 2 small keys.
Yeah, eLmaGus has all the keys you need to finish Trinax. They will get the crystal.
Yeah, they are just looking for that Thieves Town big key.
And the bow.
And the bow. They have the ability for the bow. They just have to go back and turn in the pendant.
Yeah, but that vanilla big key that they skipped, that's gonna be in the back of their heads until they find the bow.
Oh, Final Form is heading into Ice Palace. And it's not heading back. They apparently haven't been here at all, judging by that front door. So that's going to be a bunch of pod keys that will never get used. because that T-Rock key is going to be go. So that does give Final Form a bit more of an advantage.
Yeah.
And fantallis going to have to double dip. T-Rock. Just gonna have to hope that Magus doesn't go up Aga's tower.
Well, DT has to immediately check Castle Tower. And then he's in go mode. Oh no, he's missing Ganon's tower big key.
Yep. Hasn't checked Graveyard Ledge yet.
And those two locations are not close to each other. So it's not gonna be easy. But you never know.
Ooh, Final Form slipping on that hook shot just a little bit. Gets pulled into the darkness.
Yeah, that's that's always so sad when you finally make the bomb jump and then you fall down afterwards. Then you have to do it over again. And Fantallis checks the vanilla big key chest was just 5 rupees.
So
Not
fantallis now has to do pedestal.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So that really gives it to Magus at this point.
Yeah, Magus is looking for that Thieves Town big key.
And Final
But-
Form finds the last T-Rock small key. So
We have go mode.
we have go mode. DT still needs the Thieves Town and Ganon's tower keys. Magus checking Pyramid Fairy.
But that's gonna probably lead him to do Aghanim's tower. The first 2 chests there.
Which would be good news. There's the last bottle. Ooh, DT lacking the ice rod from the looks of it.
Did he not remember to pick it up?
I suppose so. The ice rod being on the torch in Desert Palace, which I believe all of our runners visited before having boots. I actually think the logic kind of forced you that direction.
Well, they needed a mirror to gain access to both swamp and desert.
Yeah, it didn't require you to do desert before swamp, but that's a bit of an easier route to take. Fantallis might think there's a T-Rock key on Lumberjack. Fantallis might think
Yeah,
there's a
that's
T-Rock key on Lumberjack.
Yeah, that's... Well, I don't blame them at this point.
Yeah, having not checked pedestal to know that it's there, but knowing that Lumberjack has a small key.
I'm thinking that key must be Meyer, right? Or is... It's truly if it's Tower of Hera.
Oh, yeah. It could be Hera. I think there's still a Skull Woods small key that we haven't seen. We've seen all the Ganon's Tower ones. But yes, probably Mire or Skull Woods. And if the game wants to be comical, it'll be Hera.
Yeah. Final form is finishing Trinex. It's not a very difficult fight when you have the butter sword, but it can troll you a little bit if the head starts moving around and you cannot hit them with the rods.
Yeah, honestly, it's usually the redhead that tends to troll me the worst.
Oh, for me it's the blue one. I just hate the ice, so I try to take out the blue one first.
See, I've always taken the approach of doing the blue one first for that exact reason. But runners will say that taking out the red one is a little faster to do first. So
Yeah,
you get
that's one.
variations.
Yeah, the red one is the one that comes out first, so you have a chance to hit that before the blue one. I like to do one or hit the red one first, then I switch to the blue one before it spews any ice on the floor.
Well, Aga1 is spewing out a lot of those blue balls,
Oh,
really making this one take a while for Fantallis.
it can give you up to 15 blue balls. The first ball after the lightning attack is guaranteed to be a returnable energy ball, but after that he can give you up to 3 blue balls every cycle.
And so we do have Final Form making the climb up Ganon's Tower. In Keysanity, we basically never see the basement, just because the big key is very rarely down there. If you're playing standard or open, you're going to go down there and browse any number of the 22 chests that are there.
And that's why we don't do the guessing game in Keysanity, because, well, in some cases we do, but like today they already knew where the big key was. They also have all the upgrades they want. Butter sword, mirror shield, red mail, silver arrows.
Yep, all the upgrades you can get.
We can have half magic, maybe.
Oh, true, true. Yeah, looks like all that Aga fight for a Mire key.
Disappointing. DT going to pick up the ice rod.
Yep, had to get all the way there to realize he forgot it. It's not something you use any other time, so it could be a little easy to forget, but
Now, Fantallis is gonna find one more Turtle Rock key inside Ice Palace. They
Yep.
might be heading back up to Turtle Rock before checking Pedestal. But I hope they check Pedestal first.
I hope so. If they go into T-Rock, that's a triple dip.
Yeah. Final form is just skipping all the chests. There's nothing they need, so. I'm gonna powder some anti-fairies to get some HP back.
Yep, and grab a 50 while you're there. Might as well. So yes, the winner of our top race, which honestly looks like it'll be Final Form, will advance to 4-0, be paired with another runner at that state, and have a pretty good chance of getting to our final section. If they lose their next race, they will have to fight for that tiebreaker. On the bottom, if they lose, they're out. So
DT did a very smart thing. He left a portal just outside one of the final rooms. So when he got back up to Death Mountain, he could just jump down and didn't have to do all of Turtle Rock over again.
that is a smart move.
Would have been even smarter to remember the ice rod the first time, but okay. He made the best of the situation, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure, knowing that you're 3-0, knowing that these are restreamed to hundreds and over 1,000 people. They might not be aware of that, but they know there are plenty of people watching. Very easy to make a mistake out of sheer nerves.
That was a very nice Trinex fight, though. Final form. That should be enough hit for the second phase of Ganon. Dodging some fire bats.
Yep, Magus making that run up to Ganon's tower.
It was a beautiful Coldster fight. With the Butter Sword, it's easier, but you still have to trap all the puffballs up in the corner.
In final form on Ganon's final form.
And he'll get the double here, I think.
Just
One
misses
more.
a triple.
There
And
we
that
go.
does it.
GG, final form.
Indeed. Walking through, finding the Triforce, and completing with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 49 minutes, and 25 seconds. The domination of Dr. Wily is no more. So we will be bringing Final Form in for a quick post-race interview in just a moment.
Magus is heading up the tower now, entering the gauntlet. Final Form actually is missing his microphone, so unfortunately we cannot do an interview with him. But
Oh well.
congrats to him again.
Yep, DT is going to head towards the castle tower. Gonna find that last necessary big key. At least for Thieves Town. There's still Ganon's tower.
Oh, he still doesn't have that one.
Yeah, still hasn't checked the graveyard ledge. At this point, that's the spot you might
Yeah.
forget.
There are some places like the graveyard ledge that you usually check early. And if you don't, then it can be very hard to remember later that you didn't. Because sometimes you just assume that you must have checked it early game.
Yep, that's a very easy thing to do, is to just forget a location, either because you had access to it so early or so late that it just kind of runs out of your head. I know I've been stuck on runs for a good 30-40 minutes just because I forgot about Sick Kid.
Oh,
Of
that's
all
another
things.
one. Yeah. If you don't get the bottle early, it can troll you hard.
DT did not climb the tower.
Oh, we only checked the sewers.
Yeah, afraid so.
Well, that's not a good sign for... Do you think he thinks he already checked it?
Possibly.
Did he check the first chest?
I think so. I think all of our runners checked that relatively early. For right now, we have
Where
Magus in the
is he
Aga 2
going?
fight. Might be grabbing the floating island small key, which was
Oh, yeah.
the second castle small key. Oh no, that was just the plain old castle, not even Castle Tower. Maybe it'll be a little mental nudge.
Yeah. Fantallis getting their green pendant. So now they have to head to Sahasla, get the bow, do Pod and Eastern, and then head up to Todorok.
Yeah, Fantallis has a lot of work left to do while Magus is taking on Ganon. A little low on hearts, even with Red Mail, can be a little dangerous, but with Buttersword, not so much.
Usually, falling down is the biggest threat during when you got this far in the Ganon fight. And doesn't look like eLmaGus is gonna have any trouble with this. There we
Nope,
go.
that's a clear.
Yeah. What I was worried about, fantallis is heading back to Turtle Rock, thinking maybe Laser Bridge has that last key.
Oh dear. eLmaGus, though, finishing up with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 55 minutes, and 38 seconds.
GG.
Yep, so we have our 2 winners for these races. Final Form will go on to 4-0, be 1 win away from a guaranteed slot, while DT and Magus are both going to have to nail another win just to make it to that tiebreaker. But we will see if we can get eLmaGus in for an interview in just a moment.
And we're getting another... Oh, DT is pulling the pedestal. Maybe he thinks that the vanilla big key chest in Turtle Rock has the big key for Thieves Town.
Ooh.
Like that would be really funny for us viewing, but unfortunately that's not the case today. Getting trapped behind that dead rock.
Doesn't matter how far into the race you are, those are always annoying.
Oh, what is he remembering? DT is going the correct way.
Could go all the way.
And there we go, yes.
Yep.
fantallis opened the last chest they could access in Turtle Rock.
Right, we're not seeing Magus show up for interview quite yet, so might be a few minutes or they might decide not to. Oh, nope, we have a 1 sec from Magus, so it'll be just another moment.
But good news for fantallis is they are doing the Dark World way of going into Eastern, so that means they will probably finish Pod as well, which...
Once they remember to talk to Sahasrahla.
Yeah. Need that bow.
And in the meantime, we do have eLmaGus with us. Magus, GG.
Hello, GG.
What did you think about the seed?
That was kind of a weird one, honestly, but it wasn't terrible by any means. Just like you had to make all the right decisions at all the right times, and that was probably difficult. For like, I struggled a lot making the right decisions starting from like the mid game. And I assume I just also found out there's a TR key on the pedestal, right?
There
Yeah.
indeed was.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Stuff like
And the
that, you know.
And the shame is fantallis used that key on the lava chest.
Oh god, no.
Yeah, that if anyone had done that by accident, I
Yeah.
didn't see if Fantallis did it on purpose or not. That one little mistake would just kill a run. And that's the kind of seed
Yeah.
this was.
Yeah, lots of like if you route, but I don't even want to say properly. But let's say like I did the first chest, for instance, in Castle Tower very early. If I don't do that and come back there early, for instance, I have Thief's Town completely out of the way because I go back with that one key and then get the big key for Thief's Town. Get that done immediately. I don't have to go back for that. Stuff like that saves a lot of time. And yeah, I don't know. I felt like I played okay. I had two really stupid deaths, of course, but yeah, that's a different story. But the routing was alright. It was just kind of hard to get the optimal route on this seed.
Yeah, I think this seed allowed you to troll yourself if you did the wrong things.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
It ended up working out for you, so that's good.
Yeah.
That bow took quite a while to find. But what did you think about that? You found the silver arrows really early, and then the bow never showed up.
Yeah, I was always like had one eye on the pedestal. Like I needed the bow to be able to get the pedestal, but I also needed other items still. So I was like, okay, please don't let me find the bow. I just want, So I actually was kind of happy not having the bow for a while there, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we spent a long time in this run being like, well, there could still be this necessary item on pedestal and this one and this one. I think we were maybe like an hour 20 in before that dream was dead.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, the dream is actually still alive, right? Because like Fantallis does have to get the key.
The logic required pedestal.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Like, it definitely seemed like it, and I was just praying that it was a TR key, to be honest.
We see Fantallis getting their final pendant.
Yep, and DT getting their final crystal. So we're going to see that Ganon's Tower run fairly soon.
What happened to DT, if I may ask?
The Thief's Town big key took him a while to find to go into the castle tower.
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. Plus, entering T-Rock, forgetting that the ice rod was in desert.
Oh! Oh, that's... Oh, ouch. That's not so good. But yeah, stuff like that was like the seed.
Yeah, I don't think the seed was too bad, but like said previously, it definitely allowed you to troll yourself if you were unlucky.
Yeah.
Also, having that one key in Lumberjack Cave, especially when some of the runners were looking a long time for a final key for Turtle Rock. Doing Aghanim was not required at all. It was a Meyer small key.
Ouch. Ooh. Yeah, I was wondering what small key that was. It's like when I saw that small key, I was like, "Do I need a small key? I don't need a small key. All right, we're good."
Yeah.
Yep, and we now have DT starting the climb to Ganon's Tower. That graveyard ledge for the GT Big Key wasn't the worst, but it did set some folks back a little bit. And Fantallis, I believe still needs one more key to complete T-Rock.
Yeah, I don't think they checked pedestal. Or did they?
Ah, well, with the direction they're headed, I'm inclined to say they haven't.
Well, they haven't pulled the pedestal, but I'm not sure they ever checked what was on there. So this...
I think fantallis
Oh, they-
did check
they,
before they could
yeah,
pull.
they did.
Yeah. For those asking in chat, is it possible to lock your game in any dungeon? No, but with a little asterisk. It is possible to soft lock at Palace of Darkness, but you have to take kind of a roundabout route. And if you hammer jump or skip the front door, it becomes safe.
Yeah. And it's
So-
only a very, very small percentage of seeds where it's possible for that to happen.
Yeah, every other dungeon is completely safe in that respect. Meyer, in fact, probably has too many keys.
Fantallis finally heading into Turtle Rock with 4 keys, or 40 keys total. They spent all but the last one to get into Trinex.
Soft lock versus hard lock, these are common terms in games and in speedruns. Soft lock means that your game is still operating, it is still working, but you have put yourself in a position where you cannot progress. A hard lock, your game is just crashed. It's dead.
Was that fake powder in DT's screen? DT was out of magic. He used the cane, and while the cane was giving him that dirt sound, because you don't have magic, they switched to powder and got the free charge off.
Nice impersonation of the sound. And I do believe that was how they did that. Everyone does have the powder, but you know, if that's the situation you're in, you can pull that one off.
Well, there is a full magic refill in that same room, but I guess he wanted to save that one. Oh, very nice. Triple hits.
And DT takes out Aga. So we're going to see our next Buttersword Red Mayo Ganon fight. Should be nice and smooth. And as always, a reminder from Ganon to have a nice wholesome breakfast.
Yeah. And thank you to our trackers today, Asasas and Raspberry Floof. They were paying a lot more attention to the items than I was, at least.
Yep.
And don't forget to
think-
follow our runners. They are doing a great job. It can be quite nerve-wracking to play for so many people. Not everyone is used to that.
Yep. One of many reasons that I didn't enter this tournament. It is pretty difficult to play in these conditions, and these runners are very good.
They are indeed. And also, thank you to Hupfan for stepping in today as my co-commentator. You have done a great job.
Not a problem. Hopefully Space Cowboy will be around to do other commentary over this weekend and the next coming weeks. So folks can hear that lovely voice as well. And DT wraps up the run with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 11 minutes, and 13 seconds.
Let's see if we can get him in here.
And we have fantallis making their way up the tower. I will say, being 2 hours, 12 minutes in and climbing GT is still a pretty good time, all things considered.
But it turned into a pedestal required seed, so...
Yeah, all the better. Getting a time like that when you had to pull pedestal.
And also they did Aghanim 1. So...
Although that turned out less required, but...
They did finish quite a lot of content of the game, though. So... It's not too bad considering everything they did.
Alright, DT will not be joining us for an interview after this race. Can't entirely blame him, need a little bit of time to calm down the nerves after a race like that.
Yeah, understandable. Fantallis doing Lamolas too.
Yep, easy to take out with the silver arrows, but you have to get your aim and timing just right.
I really like these Wizrobe rooms when you have the red cane like that, and just do them all at once.
Seems we lost audio from DT's stream. I'm sure he'll switch over to fantallis in a moment. Yep, there he goes. And we're about to see the final Trolldorm fight.
It's It's kind of funny we didn't get to see either the mushroom or the shovel. The only one of those fetch quests we got was the powder.
Yeah, normally you see a couple fetch quest items, and you can see those start to troll runners now and again. But no, the only fetch that we saw done was the smiths and the lunchbox.
Yeah.
Pretty clean execution.
Yep. Very nice. We get to see our final Ganon fight in this race. Needs 6 hits in each phase. That was more than 6, so he should be done for this phase now. Or the first 2 chests require 6 hits. Then the next phase requires 1 hit 4 times. That's 1, 2.
Yeah, everything after the first is just letting out some aggression.
Yeah. We'll enter the final phase.
Ooh, almost fallen there.
Yeah, but this...
But gets the
setting Ganon
triple.
up, that's nice, and here we go.
So that will do it for this squad.
GG, fantallis.
Finishing with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 18 minutes, and 5 seconds.
Let's see if
So-
they want to come in for an interview.
And after we do that, I will note we have the Slim Kirby versus Christos Owen match on this channel at 4. And we also have at Speed Gaming 5, Ginger Damas versus its Supercar. There will be plenty more races happening on the various channels all over the weekend, so stay tuned. But for now, we have Fantallis in for the interview.
Hey, fantallis, GG.
Hey, thanks.
So, pedestal seed?
Yeah, that was dumb.
It happened. I mean, there could have been something good in that big key chest, right?
I mean, yeah, that was a straight up autopilot error. I was just like, not even thinking, hopped through the door. It is unfortunate that it was the worst possible result of that it possibly could have been.
Yeah, because if the last key was anywhere else, right, it would be
Yeah,
so much
literally
better.
any other item in the game could have been on pedestal, and it wouldn't have been as bad. But you know, it's a thing not to do next time.
And also, there being a small key in Lumberjack Cave
Yeah,
makes
well,
you want to do Aghanim as well. Right.
that one. And as a matter of fact, when I went through Misery Mire, the fact that I found that small key there was the only reason that I actually went through to do the rest of the left side, which I figured the first time was just going to be garbage. And it was.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Still, very good execution on several points, especially those final Aga and Ganon fights. Those are actually very, very well done.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
That's yeah. Could have been it could have been less silly for sure, but I think I'd say like 80 to 85% of it, I'm sort of happy with the choices that were made. Hey, bye, key. I'm just watching it go back to the pedestal. Stupid piece of junk.
Yeah. Well, this seed was it gave you a lot of opportunities to troll yourself. So
It did. I'm actually glad I caught myself going into Swamp Palace and then immediately left. I was like, wait a minute, I'm still sequence broken with hookshot.
yeah. Well, hookshot was in Eastern, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Indeed, it was.
So you had access to it pretty early, anyway.
Yeah, a lot of I following sort of the meta of this game, people are getting increasingly disillusioned with doing the very early Eastern Palace dip. And
I think you waited until an hour or something.
yeah, it was like last possible moment. And especially finding such nice stuff in Sahasrahla in his house.
Yeah, the moon pearl and something else good was there. Flippers? Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like, hey, go do literally anything else.
Yeah. Well, it was. You already had a lot of rupees by then, so
Yeah, exactly.
kind of was pointing towards Sora or somewhere
And
else.
Flute was up there, right? So yeah,
Yeah, I
Flute
believe
was
so.
up there. And then mitts were on Death Mountain, so it was sort of this like it really made you feel like that was the right thing, that you were doing the
Yeah, because you got more progression all the time.
yeah. But sometimes it's all red herrings.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, I'd say I'm like 80 to 85% happy with the choices that I made. Just there's one real big one that
Yeah, you played well though.
well, thanks.
I have to say
Mhm.
that. Yeah.
Anyway, I gotta actually get back to work. Took a break out of the middle of it to do this.
Okay, yeah. We're gonna
Anyway,
let you go
thanks-
then. Do you have
thanks
any
for-
final things to say? before we go?
Just don't be a doofus, I guess. That's like, the big problems come when I look over at my tracker, because I'm thinking like, boy, if this Turtle Rock play doesn't turn out to be the right thing, what am I going to do next? And then your hands sort of just do what they're going to do. And then anyway,
Yeah.
just don't do that. But
Yeah,
anyway,
well-
thanks for commentating this race.
Yeah,
No
thanks
problem.
for running.
To the trackers as well. I know we got one like last minute to make this into a quad, so thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks to Raspberry Floof and Asasas for tracking today. And thanks to our runners for doing these races, and thanks to my co-commentator Hoppan for commentating with me.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you all again. Thank you everyone who is watching. Like I said earlier, there is a race currently going on at Speed Gaming 5, but if you stick around here, this channel will probably host that until the race here at 4. And there are plenty more going on all throughout the evening and the weekend and next week. So plenty to keep an eye on. If you're not following this channel already, it might be a good time to do so if you enjoyed the race.
And with that, I'm gonna say bye-bye, and stay tuned for more races.
Yep, take care and have a good afternoon, everybody.